Making the block. Communicate with crew to visualize a hydrant. If one is present, confirm dry or wet barrel. Confirm 4.5-inch discharge is present. Slow down to a speed at which you can read each address. When you reach the first side of the structure, slow to 5 miles an hour. Place the engine while considering the location of the tailboard in relation to objective and potential aerial placement. Size up the structure. Identify power lines and phone lines, collapse zones, fire conditions, and identify the distance from the engine to the objective. Position the apparatus taking the following into account. You should be positioned so that the tailboard is in line or just past the corner of the building, AB or AD. If able, drive the engine in the opposite direction of where the hose is going to allow for an easy deployment. Keep in mind of the other apparatus coming into the block. Provide 3 sides of the structure if possible. Verify you're clear of overhead wires if possible. You are out of collapse zones if possible. Park parallel to the road if appropriate to leave room for passing apparatus. Listen to the captain's report on conditions and tactical goals. Parrot back any instructions given. Make note of the direction of incoming units regarding water supply. Come to a complete stop. Set the brake and confirm that the front brake is on. Shift to neutral. Activate regen inhibit switch. Turn on floodlights as needed. Shift rig into pump and confirm the apparatus is in pump. Apparatus specific. Check for traffic. Remove seatbelt and headset. Open the door and confirm the steps deploy. Step off the rig and close the door. Turn up your radio and confirm that you're on the correct tactical channel. Don your helmet. Close the rear door. Confirm at the pump panel, pump is engaged, discharge pressure, overhead lights, etc. Confirm the OK to pump is showing. Chock both front and rear of the rear tire. Shift the pressure governor to pressure mode. Confirm tank to pump valve is open. Confirm the foam injector is on if foam is required. If the officer calls for a deadload stretch, consider securing water supply after helping with the stretch. If the hydrant is less than 100 feet, secure your own supply. If the hydrant is greater than 100 feet, communicate the need for assistance on the radio. I need a second due engine to lay out or lay in. Officer determines the use of the deadload. Confirm objective location with the officer. Return to the tailboard of the engine. Estimate the distance from the discharge to the objective. The firefighter will pull the 100-foot bundle off of the engine, assisting with slack development. 200 feet or less, the firefighter and captain can manage slack. 200 feet or greater, the AO will help with slack development, including hose going vertical, upstairs, coupling drop, etc. Once the firefighter has reached the objective and states, "Break the line," the AO will disconnect the closest coupling to the engine and connect the female coupling to the appropriate discharge. Pay attention to how much hose is still in the bed. Calculate the lengths of hose on the ground and determine the proper discharge pressure. Address any potential kinks in the hose. Return to the pump panel. Make the hydraulic calculation. Once water is called, open the discharge at a walking pace until the water reaches the nozzle. Set discharge pressure to 10 to 15 psi over the operating pressure. Wait at the pump until water is flowing. Watch flow meter on the Foam Pro, flowing 150 GPM. If no flow reading, radio the crew instructing them to flow the line. Note intake gauge drop indicating residual pressure. Calculate percent drop on the intake pressure. Lock valve if applicable. Check for kinks. Situational awareness. Conduct your own size up of the building from the rig while being able to immediately return to the panel. Building construction, fire location, smoke and fire conditions, location, color, velocity, and volume, and anticipated exposures. Reassess your pump every 2 minutes. Confirm pressure on pump discharge gauge and independent gauges are at desired pressures and haven't changed. Feel the intake with your hand, and if you start to notice a temperature increase, then crack the recirculating valve 1/4. Look at the engine temperature gauge. Crack engine cooler valve if needed. Be tank confident.